Hello! Today I wanted to do a video on the Israeli M15, so an all-about video all about the Israeli M15. Now, this is a mask I've had in my collection for quite a while, and it's a very good mask. Now, one of the reasons I particularly want to talk about this mask is because there's lots of dodgy sellers online that claim these masks offer no protective capabilities, blah blah blah, these are junk masks, crap masks, buy our $400 whatever mask. That is completely false. The Israeli M15 is a very good mask, assuming you get one in working condition, the same with any other mask really. But this is a very competent respirator. These began production, I'd guess, somewhere in the 1970s. Mine's an example from the 1970s. I have a 79 date stamp there, and I have one inside the mask that says 73, which is probably quite hard to read there, but it says 73. There's also another date stamp that says 83, so I don't know if it was originally these were intended for 10 years of service. But supposedly they now put 20 years of shelf life on these, and as I've said before, 20 years of shelf life is a massive underestimate with a lot of masks. It's just simply, you know, because your life relies on it if you're using it for military use. They have to keep cycling the stock of them. And it's also good for the companies making the masks because they keep getting, you know, more contracts. It's not like the military says, make 100,000 masks for us and that's it. It's, you know, make 100,000 masks every 20 years or whatever. So they get, you know, more contracts. But what generally happens is every year they'll be making a few thousand masks, I guess, constantly. So the Israeli M15 is kind of a Drager M65 style mask, although it's much better than the M65. So it's got a 5-point head harness. The top strap you have to adjust separately, and then the other 4 straps are pull-through straps, so once you've got the mask on you pull those tight. It's got a drinking tube on one side, if you're particularly interested in that. There's the drinking tube. It uses the Israeli drinking tube connector, which I don't have, so I can't demonstrate how effective the drinking tube is. From what I've heard, the Israeli ones, as long as you actually get the full assembly of parts of the drinking tubes, are good. The issue is a lot of people seem to think that with the Israeli ones you can not bother putting the lower connector on and then just open a bottle of water in a contaminated environment and stick it in. Yeah, you could drink water that way, but you're also going to contaminate the water and kill yourself. Standard American style voice diaphragm that's like on the M17 at the front. As far as I understand it, this is just like a metal plate sandwiched between the front grate and like a grate inside the mask, and it vibrates obviously when you talk. You've got your 40mm filter intake there. Apparently these are standardised intakes, take both GOST and NATO filters. And you've got your exhale valve under that cover there. Triangular eye lenses. Not sure what sort of plastic they're made out of. I imagine modern ones might be polycarbonate. Inside you've got an oral nasal cup and your drinking tube. So that's pretty standard. But yeah, these masks are very, very good. I can't stress that enough. The rubber's got a very good thickness to it. And again, it's made out of the right sort of rubber. It's got a bit of play in it, but it's also a bit rigid. Because as I've said before in other videos, a respirator kind of needs to be half and half when it comes to the rubber sort of firmness. Too firm, it won't make a good airtight seal. Too sort of squishy or whatever, and it won't make a good airtight seal because, you know, the weight of the filter and other things can pull the mask away from your face. It's got a chin rest as well with the drainage hole in. Overall, this is a very, very good mask. So when you have dodgy people online saying don't get an M15, they're junk masks, they're telling absolute crap to you basically. So anyway, let's get the mask on, and I'll do it the proper way in the video, which is put my chin first, pull that over, just make sure the rubber's folded out the way, there we go, and then let's tighten the straps. Now, this strap does have a tendency of mine to actually kind of bend over here, which is really irritating because that means that you've got more tension on your head. So I'll take that off, try and straighten that strap out, because I'm not sure if the actual strap is bent somewhere. I think it is actually the strap on the harness hasn't quite been put on right. So let me try and sort that out and then I'll put the mask back on. Right, I fixed the strap assembly. That was a much larger job than I thought it would be, simply because unlike S10 straps you can't just simply pull them through the other way and then thread them back through. No, on these you kind of have to disattach this strap from the mask, and I had to shave down a bit of the rubber so it would fit easily. But anyway, now all the straps on this mask should be on the correct way, and hopefully if I put it on I can tighten it and get a comfortable actual fit on the mask. Excellent, so there we go, the mask's on properly, and the drinking tube on this mask can be manipulated with your hand like that to get it into your mouth, and then get it out of the way. So the drinking tube on this mask isn't one that annoys me, because I know some people say they don't like the S10's drinking tube and other masks' drinking tubes because they're kind of in the way. As long as you get one of these masks that fits you properly, I don't think you're going to really run into that problem. So now all the straps are done correctly. Yeah, this mask's very comfortable for what it is. Easy to get an airtight seal, fairly good field of view of the triangular lenses. A bit of loss of sight here, but overall not too bad. And yeah, all good. So yeah, the Israeli M15, they're masks that you can generally get fairly cheap on the surplus market, simply just because they've been in production for like 30 plus years, and obviously when masks have been in production that long and they're constantly hitting the surplus market, you can get them for like $30 each. You can generally buy them directly from Israel. Apparently there's a few variants of this. There's like ones without speech diaphragms, ones with extra kind of radio equipment built on. I was reading that apparently there's a directional thing if you're speaking on the telephone. I can't see that at all because the only voice diaphragm on mine is this one here. There's definitely none nowhere else. As you can see along the rubber, there's no thing, and I've looked inside, there's nothing inside other than the connector for the drinking tube. So overall, yeah, very good. So Israeli M15s, I'd highly recommend them. The newer you get them, obviously the better, but this one's from the 70s. It still worked when I've done, you know, the pressure checks of it. I've just kind of noticed it's a bit odd. One of the eyepieces doesn't seem quite straight compared to the other one on this mask. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't affect my field of view at all, but that is a bit weird. But yeah, if I really wanted to, I could disassemble and reassemble the eyepieces, but maybe it's just how the rubber's pulling to one side, it's altering how the eyepieces are looking. Maybe. Anyway, Israeli M15, very good mask. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a cheap surplus mask that does its job. It's got a drinking tube and a voice diaphragm and everything else you need. It makes a very good peripheral seal, unlike normal Drager M65 style masks. Easy to make an airtight seal, fairly comfortable for long periods. The exhale valve's at the bottom, which is a good design because it means that sweat and sort of moisture inside the mask tend to actually drain outwards as they should. So yeah, big thumbs up for the Israeli M15. It's a mask that's been in Israeli service since some point in the 1970s, and obviously they've not decided to change the design. As I said, there are variants. This is, as far as I'm aware, the normal IDF, sort of military one. But apparently there's like tank crew variants and whatever else, but all of them seem to be very good masks from what I can tell. You could either use it with a filter attached directly to the mask. Israeli Type 80 filters are very good for the people who are wondering about that, because I keep getting asked, are Israeli filters safe? Yes, Israeli filters are perfectly safe and actually very good filters, so I'd highly recommend them. And as well as that, you can use it obviously with a powered air supply, sort of, because Israel's starting to build those quite frequently now, or use it with a hose and a canister filter if you wanted to. But yeah, Israeli M15s are very good masks. I'd highly recommend them to anybody who wants either one in a collection, obviously, but out of all the Drager M65 designs, I think the Israeli M15 is probably simply the best one.